Okay, we have your NFL Week 11 predictions. So starting off, you have the Dolphins versus the Raiders. Both these teams aren't very good. The Raiders are coming off a bye, but they did not look good before that bye. Well, the Dolphins coming off a much-needed win versus the Rams. I think the Raiders' season is basically down the drain. Gardner Minshew has been bad. The defense, honestly, has been pretty bad. Well, the Dolphins, they look like they're starting to get more healthy. Their defense played great against a good Rams offense in that offense, and the Dolphins' offense looks much better with Tua, so I'm going to take the Dolphins here, especially with home field advantage. Then you have the Steelers versus the Ravens. Ravens looked really good. Steelers also looked pretty good against the Commanders. Um, this game is going to be a divisional game. It's going to be 50-50. However, I like the Steelers in a divisional game, so I'm going to take the Steelers here. Then you have the Chargers versus the Bengals. I just cannot trust that Bengals defense right now. That Bengals offense is great, but that Chargers defense has also been great. However, when it comes down to that Bengals defense versus that Chargers offense, I gotta take the Chargers here. Got the Chargers winning. Then you have the Chiefs versus the Bills. At some point, that Chiefs bullshit will have to end, and I think it's gonna come down in this week where the Bills, they've won 4 or 5 straight games now. Their defense has played alright, their offense has played great, while the Chiefs have not looked like their old selves. Their defense is good, but their offense is not good, and I think that, like I said, that bullshit will end for the Chiefs sooner or later, so I'm going to take the Bills here. And then you have the Colts versus the Jets, both teams that really need this win. The Jets, they're really dysfunctional right now. Their offense sucks. Their defense is alright, but it's not a top 5 anymore. And the Colts, Joe Flacco, I believe, will still be starting. Colts defense really isn't that good. This game is just, I don't know. I guess I trust Joe Flacco a little bit. And that Colts offense with Jonathan Taylor, I think will get them the win. So I'm going to take the Colts here. Then you have the Titans versus the Vikings. Titans just as bad situation as the Jets. Will Levis, he's not good. He's going to struggle. I got to take the Vikings here. That Brian Flores defense alone should get the Vikings the win. Then you have the Saints versus the Browns. Both these teams not good. However, the Saints are coming off a win versus the Falcons, while the Browns are coming off a bye, and I think the Saints getting a little bit more healthy will get the win here. Then you have the Patriots versus the Rams. Rams really need this win, especially after dropping that Monday night game. While the Patriots, they could pose some upset potential. Drake May has looked good. That Patriots defense has been decent. They shut down Caleb Williams. That Rams, they have been getting healthier, but they just came off a terrible game. And I do think that the Rams will rebound, so I'm going to take the Rams here. Then you have the Lions versus Jaguars. Jaguars are probably one of the worst teams this year. The defense sucks. Their offense has its moments, but sucks more than it's good. The Lions look like the best team despite Jared Goff throwing 5 interceptions last week, so I'm going to take the Lions here. Then you have the Falcons versus the Broncos. I can really see this game going either way. I think both of these teams are frauds. That Broncos defense kind of did pretty well versus the Chiefs, but did terrible versus the Ravens. But I do think that Broncos defense is good enough to slow down Kirk Cousins, and I don't really trust that Falcons defense that much. And Bo Nix has played a lot better, so with home field advantage, I gotta take the Broncos here. Then you have the Texans versus the Cowboys. Both these teams also need wins. The Cowboys, they're starting Cooper Rush now. I don't have much faith in them. Their defense really hasn't been good. While the Texans, their defense played very well. However, their offense missing Nico should be back, so that's a huge boost. But I think Texans defense will be the stifle. I don't think Cowboys have any life left, so I'm gonna take the Texans here. Then you have the Thursday night game, the Eagles versus the Commanders. This one is gonna come down to the wire. Team-wise, I think the Eagles have the more proven team. Their defensive line, especially, I think can cause problems for Jaden Daniels. That Eagles offense has done a lot better. While the Commanders, the last couple of weeks, they really haven't played that well. Jaden Daniels continues to be very good, but that defense did not play good versus the Steelers. I gotta take the team right now with more momentum, and that's gotta be the Eagles. And they're the more experienced team. Then you have the Bears versus the Packers. Bears, they've dropped, 3 straight now. Caleb Williams is on the verge of getting benched. That Bears defense is still pretty good, but Packers, they're with the bye now. That Packers defense is pretty good. That Packers defense specifically, I think, is really going to get the win. They have the Seahawks versus the Niners, mid versus mid. Seahawks have been like 1-4 since that 3-0 start. The Niners getting CMC back, I think will get them the win here. But there you have it, my NFL Week 11 predictions.